Welcome back, everybody. Now, a couple days ago, the new event quest Mixed Emotions released, and today we're just going to go through a guide and the best champions and the best paths to take for every single quest, all 6 quests. Now, the bosses are kind of difficult for this one. There are some nodes that are annoying. Now, Deadpool, he's not a very hard person in general. But he has a couple of nodes on him that can make him really annoying. Alright, so the path you want to take is always going to be the global nodes one. And there's always going to be one path with only global nodes. And in this quest, that path is straight up. So you have a Silver Surfer, a Dr. Doom, a King Groot, then you have Torch, Strange, Tigra, and then Deadpool. So there are not like this event quest, the global nodes or the global node people are kind of difficult. Like not overly extreme in this one, but like there are a couple of people who you don't really want to be hit with. Or you don't want to really get hit. So Silver Surfer, he's not considered metal if you're thinking Magneto. Which is a little disappointing. For him, you just need to get used to his special 2. His special 1, you just gotta learn to dex. It will give you 3 armor breaks, no matter what. But, alright, so then, you have a Dr. Doom, and you just need, a little bit of experience playing him, or fighting him. But, you just really need to learn how to dex the special 1 and special 2. And it can be hard, especially the special 1, because it's unblockable. But, if you're dexing either of them, the special 1 is easier than the special 2. Or at least that's my opinion. Alright, so King Groot, he's a relatively easy champion to fight. You just block through the special 2. You can get away from the special 1 pretty quickly. The regeneration can be a little bit annoying. You don't want to get hit by the special 2 or the poison. But yeah. Alright, so then you have Human Torch, and you don't really want to slip up against this guy because then you will have some incinerate damage on you, which is always a big pain. So I brought in Sunspot for that fight because he's incinerated me but yeah, he's pretty simple. But Doctor Strange, he can be really annoying. You just really need to know his moves. You really need to be very, very familiar with him. But since he's not an overly good champion to fight with, not many people have much experience unless you grind arena a lot like me. But Tigra, her specials jump really far. So you can't so you have to be really prepared for that. But yeah, and they're unblockable. I think the special 2 is at least. But yeah, you just can't get hit by her specials. And so each time or every 7.5 seconds, you get a shock or any other a kind of debuff on you. And yeah, you want to bring in someone who has a lot of immunities, or you want to just kind of try to counter that node. I think it's the biohazard node. I haven't really read them. But yeah, so let's move on to the second quest. Yeah, so the second quest, the boss is Sentinel. I don't think, no, never mind. But Howard the Duck, you mainly just want an armor break champion, someone who can reverse all those armor ups, and you just mainly want to keep baiting special 1s, because you can dex the full special 1, and he falls down in his seat, so it's pretty easy, to just head straight in and start hammering in again. But yeah. So then you have a MCOC, and MCOC is a very annoying champion, a very good defender for Alliance Wars. But yeah, you mainly want to bring in someone who's good at spamming heavies like Hulkbuster, Dr. Doom, Magneto, but yeah, and Mephisto, this path is actually a huge pain for character-wise, but this is the path with just global nodes. Alright, so, but for Mephisto, you want to, you want to incinerate immune. Void is probably the best counter for Mephisto in the entire game, because if you have Fear of the Void, which is his awakened ability, um, then you can reverse his regeneration, and Void's just Incinerate immune. But the number one thing you want for Mephisto isn't an Incinerate immune. I like Sunspot since he's rank 5 and he's just a lot of fun. But Spider-Man Classic, you want an evade counter for this guy, or you just want to hit him while he's stunned. But yeah, you just need an evade counter for him. You just need an evade counter to go into this quest. Hood, you need to be familiar with his moves. You need to always bait special ones because it's easy to get away from, and he doesn't go invisible after, I'm pretty sure. So yeah. Alright, and then you have Wasp, and you want an evade counter for Wasp, and if you don't have an evade counter, you want a shock immune person. Because when she evades, then it puts a shock on you, and it can be pretty annoying. But yeah, then the boss Sentinel, you need to be very familiar with his moves. He has a lot of different debuffs he can put on you. But you can't like go for the heavy intercept and then fail. If you're gonna go for the heavy intercept, you gotta be successful, or else you have a shock debuff on you. Alright, but so now let's go to chapter 2. And this is where Mr. Fantastic is the boss in this one. But yeah, so you have some annoying people on this path again, I believe. So you have Killmonger. So he's like Mole Man in the fact that you can't hit into his block while he has those charges, the unstoppable charges. So yeah, you just need to be prepared. You can't be overly aggressive against him. You can't hit into his block or anything. So Omega Red's a champion who's a no-no on that fight. But Guardian, he is, I actually just recently discovered you could dex his special too. But yeah, he produces a lot of energy damage, so you don't really want to get hit by that guy, nor by his special 2 especially. I always knew you could bait this or dex his special 1, but yeah, now that I know that you can dex his special 2, he's a lot less harder of a champion because he can still do so much energy damage to the block. So if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna bait the special 2, make sure to actually get the special 2, or actually, be able to dex it. Alright, now Gwenpool, if you're thinking of ramping somebody up like Guillotine, Guillotine is awful against Gwenpool, because this Gwenpool is awakened, and her awakened ability prevents her from dying on a special. But yeah, so you just don't. But overall, Gwenpool is a pretty simple champion. You just don't want to get hit because the bleed can be very annoying. And Groot here, you just want to bait a lot of special ones. He's a annoying person to fight because he's an annoying person to fight because of the fact that he shrugs off debuffs really quickly. And Immortal Hulk, you just don't want his immortality phase can be very annoying. So you just want to be very, very careful against him because he goes unblockable, and yeah, it's just very not fun. Alright, but Venom, you want to bait special ones. If special 2s, he just jumps very far, and it's just very hard to get away from sometimes. But if you can get away from them, and you're really, really good at it, feel free to bait the special 2s. But yeah, and he also has a lot of fury and cruelties and stuff like that that can really enhance his damage. Now, this is the boss, Mr. Fantastic. So Mr. Fantastic, you want an evade counter for him. My main evade counter is Hitmonkey with his Assassin's Cunning. But yeah, you just really want an evade counter with this guy because he evades a lot. And you also want to know his specials. I know them pretty well since when I used to have like a main deck or main 5 people that I used. Yeah, he used to be one of them. So yeah, I know his specials very well. All of them are unblockable, so be very careful. If you are unfamiliar with him, I suggest doing a duel. Alright. But we're officially halfway through with the quests. But this is the quest where you have to fight Super Squirrel. And Super Squirrel, he's not close to as hard as Psycho Man, but yeah, this path, it's not overly extreme. It's not overly extreme, but there are some people you want to watch out for. Actually, not really. But Yellow Jacket, he got a buff recently, so you just can't bring in a regeneration person because he'll just reverse that. So just no regeneration people. If this was before his buff, I'd say go for it, but not with his buff. Okay, now, Massacre, you want to bait special 1s a lot. If you are very familiar with this guy, feel free to go special 2s because the special 2 can be a little bit challenging because it's pretty sudden if you're not used to playing this guy. So yeah, just bait special 1s if you're unfamiliar with him. It's just a lot easier. But Ronin. Now, Ronin is a champion who's not very fun to fight. He's a very fun champion to play, though, so if you get him, have fun with him. But he's very fast, and his specials, both he throws something at you and comes at you at the same time, so you need to be very careful and be very aware of what's happening in the fight at all times. But, yeah. Alright, so yeah, you don't really have to bait special 1s nor special 2s, but his special 3 does the most damage, so don't push him to that. Alright, but Stark Enhanced Spider-Man, this guy evades, but not an overly ton amount. You want a shock immune character, in case you slip up on the special 2, but overall Stark is not an overly hard champion to fight. But yeah, you just want to be prepared for his evades and all that. Alright, now Drax. This champion is probably one of the worst defenders in the entire game. He would be an unbearable tier if my tier list was a defender tier list. But yeah, so he's very simple. He has no ranged attacks, which is really nice when you're fighting him. But yeah, so he's really simple, straight ahead. Now, Winter Soldier, if you are on the uncollected level, like I am, then you've probably fought and or soloed Winter Soldier in Realm of Legends before. So you should be very, very familiar with this guy. If you're not, you have to shield through the special 2 and dex the special 1. He shoots 2 bullets at the special 1, so you can just dex those. But yeah, he's a simple champion. Alright, but this guy, you want to bait special 1s. It's just a lot easier to get away from. He throws a rock at you, so not hard. You can just dex it. But the falter, you just have to be always very aware of the falter, and you want to try to go, and you want to, I believe he's parry immune when he's, yeah. And I believe he's parry immune when he's falter, when you have falter on you. So yeah, you just want to hit into his block when you just want to hit into his block when you shoot. Sorry, I'm losing my words. But you just want to hit into his block when he has the falter, because that'll start the falter clock down. Yeah, so, but yeah, you can't, I mean, if you want to, but you can't just you can't just try to hit him no block. He's gonna intercept you. It's gonna be bad. Alright, but now we are on chapter 3. And chapter 3 has 2 people as bosses, Mr. Sinister and then Psycho Man. And Psycho Man is by far the worst boss and probably the worst person in this entire event quest. But you want to go up this path to the Sentry. And Sentry's not an overly hard champion. His special 2, he just comes flying at you really fast. And then the special 1 you can easily dex. It's very satisfying to dex, so try it, but don't try it on this Sentry because if you mess up, then it's annoying. Alright, but this path I believe is pretty annoying. Yeah. Alright, so these people are pretty annoying. Daredevil Hell's Kitchen, since his buff, he's an annoying defender. He didn't used to be, but he purifies all your parries. Not all of them, but yeah, you just have to be I don't know, you just always have to pay attention. And his special attacks are very long, so know when to go in. I suggest doing a duel beforehand. But yeah, just be aware of what his new animations are, because he also got new animations with the buff. Alright, but Sasquatch. Sasquatch, you just don't really want to get hit by him because of the ruptures. But yeah. And also when he enters his Wrath of Tanakh or whatever. No, that's wrong. But once he enters that, then he becomes stun immune. So don't try to parry him. Yeah, just don't try to parry him. Alright, but here we have Dr. Voodoo. And Dr. Voodoo is pretty easy. You just want to bait special ones, or the special ones is very easy to get away from. She does put debuffs on you, but not like incinerate debuffs. Like, not damaging debuffs, as far as I'm aware of. Or at least that's never happened while I was fighting her. But, yeah, you just want to be kind of aware of what's happening. And, yeah, but overall, she's pretty simple. Now, Black Panther Civil War, one of the hardest people to fight in the entire game. You want to be very, very aware of all of his buffs at all time, and you don't really want to parry him. I mean, you can at some points, but as I said, you have to be aware of his buffs, because his reflective armor, if you parry him while he has reflective armor, it will reflect it back at you, like the title and the name, and then you're stunned, then he comes at you. So yeah, Black Panther Civil War is very annoying. Now, She-Hulk. She-Hulk is pretty easy defender. She gets a lot of fury buffs, so you just don't really want to get hit, but her special attacks are short. She doesn't have any ranged attacks, so yeah, she's pretty simple. But here we go, Mr. Sinister. Now, Mr. Sinister is a pretty annoying defender. Actually, very annoying defender. But you want to be able to dex the special one, and you want to bait special ones. But yeah, you just want to constantly bait special ones. I'm not sure if it puts a degeneration on you. I'm not sure if it puts a degeneration on you even if you dex it, but I'm not sure. Alright, and now we are at the final quest, and this new month's edition was Psycho Man. Now, Psycho Man is a very, very annoying person to fight. So, yeah, this is the path that you want to take, Path A. And it has Medusa, Miss Marvel, Mojo, Nova, Psylocke, and Vision. Now, Medusa, she is a very annoying champion to fight because she can auto-block you halfway through and then parry you. Wait, no. That's just Reno, sorry. But she can auto-block you halfway through and then intercept you. Sorry, I said parry. I wasn't thinking. People in quests cannot parry you. They don't have masteries. But Miss Marvel, she's pretty easy. If you have a lot of experience against the Realm of Legends Captain Marvel, then you should have absolutely no trouble with her. She absorbs some stuff, so don't really hit into her block. It'll just keep gaining power for her. But Mojo is probably the worst person on this path. And yeah, Mojo, you mainly want to spam heavy person with this guy, because when he enters his anti-life, then he can just put a degeneration on you. That is absolute hell. And yeah, you just want someone who's spam heavies. You don't want to be aggressive on him unless he does not have his anti-life. But yeah. Alright, and now Nova. You need to know Nova's animations. I don't that well. Yeah, you need to know Nova's animations really well. I suggest doing a duel if you don't. But yeah, or you can just try to shield through the blocks. But yeah. Now, Psylocke, she's a very annoying person, I don't know why I said that, but, her special 2 power locks you, and you can just block through the special 2. But the special 1, you always mainly want to bait special 1s because it's just very easy to get away from. It's not ranged, it's not anything. But yeah, just head in after her final sword swipe. And now Vision. You just don't want to get hit by the specials with Vision because it power burns you. So it makes all your power go to 0. But yeah, his specials are not that hard to get away from. His special 2, he just punches the ground. His special 1, he shoots a little laser. But yeah. And now the worst person on this entire event quest is Psycho Man. And the number one thing that you cannot do against Psycho Man is hit into his block. Because then he will become unblockable for practically the rest of the fight and you will lose. I cannot stress enough how much you cannot hit into the block. But yeah, other than that, he's pretty simple. You mainly want to bait special 1s. But it's kind of like Havoc's special 1, but instead of 3 blasts, it's just 2. But yeah, you just cannot hit into the block. I find a great counter for this guy is Magneto because he's magnetized, and yeah, and Magneto doesn't need to be aggressive. You can just sit back, but you need to be good at parrying when he's flying at you from long distance. But everybody, that brings us to the end of the video. So thank you everybody so much for watching. If you liked this video, please leave a like and leave a comment. If you'd like to see my channel, you may go check it out. If you do enjoy it, please hit the subscribe button. And I post it every day, so I will see you guys tomorrow.